Well, guys, it's a Friday morning here, and gonna do a little bit of flintlock hunting today. Pennsylvania's flintlock and late archery season goes out this weekend, so it's Friday right now. Do a little bit of hunting today. There's a fresh blanket of snow on the ground, so hopefully we can cut some fresh tracks and get after it and see what we can see. So should be a quiet morning. Everything's wet. Won't be crunchy. It'd be easy to see. So be a good day to still hunt, and we'll see what happens. Well, finally all ready to go. And are you really hunting if you don't do a full coffee chug before you head out? Let's go, baby. It's a nice, calm, cold morning. I think it's like 28, 29 degrees. I probably have like, I'd say a mile and a half hike back in before I get to where I actually want to start hunting. But you never know. I might see something walking in on this road. But got my Badlands pack with me, because if I kill one way back in here, I'm not dragging it out. I'll be quartering it up and packing it out. So I got game bags. So should be an eventful day. I got 3 trail cameras. Get them out before the big snowstorm on Monday. Try to get some intel on the bucks I was after in archery, if they're still around. But we'll see how today goes, and hopefully we see some deer. So the game plan for right now is I'm in this clear cut. I'm just gonna kind of still hunt and walk around on these logging roads just to see if there's any fresh deer tracks, fresh sign using this cut. I'd expect there to be bedding on this. It's a north aspect, and we got a north wind right now, so I expect deer to be in here. Wasn't a good acorn crop up here, so there's lots of browse and cover in this cut, so I'd expect deer to be in there. But as you can see, there's kind of these roads that go between them, and they just kind of meander through here. Can't see great. I don't expect to really get a shot off at one, but this is more of a scouting mission, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I just ran into some tracks here on this logging road, and I just wanted to show you. So a good way to tell if they're fresh is it's a colder day like this, so the snow's kind of stiff on top. It was a real wet snow yesterday evening, so any track this morning that would be fresh, this powdery stuff in here would still be powdery. So when you touch that around the edges, it's stiff, it's set up. I would say this track was from last night when the snow was wet, not from this morning when it froze. You can tell these, if it was a fresh track, these edges right here would be soft and broken up. This powdery stuff in here wouldn't be frozen, it'd be loose and powdery. So not a track worth going after in my opinion, but we might run into her somewhere. Just seen my first deer of the day. I was sneaking down through this clear cut to get on the next logging road. And it's just a little bit crunchy. A little crunchier than I would want, but these deer jumped up like 80 yards in front of me, way out in the thick stuff. It looked like there was 3 does. I watched them run for a ways and they never stopped. I mean, they were running full speed, so I think it's going to be tough to sneak up on one today, but you never know. This is also why I hate walking through brush and stuff like that. But anyways, I might try to go hit these deer's tracks and maybe try to catch up with them, but it's highly unlikely at this point they're going to be alert. I might just keep going through this cut, and once I get on these logging roads, it's not too bad, but I was just cutting through to get to the next road down, and it was just a little bit crunchy, and well, they were down here in this thick stuff. They took off, running out through there, and then that was the last I seen them, so we'll give it the best shot, and maybe we'll get close enough to one. But anyways, an update. I'm getting closer to where I spent a lot of time this past summer scouting, hanging cameras. I hunted it a handful of times in archery season. I missed a buck up here first week in November. I saw one of my target bucks the same day. He's a pretty nice mainframe 10-point. That's why I'm getting back in here to put some cameras back up. Hopes that he's still alive. It's pretty tough access, so I don't think it saw a whole lot of pressure, but you never know. But once I get up here, I'll look around and put some cameras up, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got camera location 1 set up. You can see right there's a camera, this little cherry tree. You can see behind me it's real thick. It's basically thick all around me. Got this opening back here that the camera's kind of pointed to. Over in here, there's a trail that comes out of this thick stuff and comes right through here, right where I have the camera facing. So we'll see. Probably leave it here for, I don't know, at least until spring, I guess. Might be back in here to shed hunt, not sure yet, but if that's the case, then I'll check the camera then. But we got 2 more to set up and still a chance at killing a deer, so we'll see how things go the rest of the morning. Alright, so we're coming in to one of my favorite spots. I'm probably going to put a camera here again. It's this little bowl down in this creek bottom that's got 3 different points that come down into it. You can kind of see it back there. It's a really good spot. I had a camera here, I'd say most of November and into December I pulled it the last week of rifle season, I believe. And before we go down there and check it out, I saw something up here that was not here the last time I was here. So this has happened since rifle season, pretty much. Go check this out. But yeah, check this out. That's a pretty good sized rub. That was not here in rifle season. You can see here, that's a pretty good sized tree. It's probably 6 inches in diameter, so that's a good sized rub. I think I'm definitely gonna put that camera back up down in that bowl, because the trail that rubs on leads right down into it, so whatever bucks are still around I should get pictures of. So we'll see. Go get this camera home and keep moving. Well, I made it up to where I hunted in archery season during the rut. I decided to just hike up here and check it out and just see what for sign was up here in the specific spot where I hunted. There's not a whole lot of sign. I mean, most of the activity up here was in October and November because there was an active scrape, but there hasn't been a whole lot of sign here. There's been sign pretty close to here, so I don't think I'm going to put a camera on this scrape, but I'll show you around here. So basically, this beech tree right here, right under these branches, there was a big scrape there and a big scrape over here. It was a big double scrape, kind of on this little open bench straight out there. It comes out to a point. The deer would travel right through here. They would go up through that opening. I had the camera on that tree. But the main food source in this spot that I've found, you can see, is grape. All these grapevine. I mean, this whole ridge right here is just full of grapevine, and it was loaded with fruit this year. And with there not being any acorns and very little beech nuts up here, they were hammering it. And right up in this area here, a bunch of them were dropping, and the times I hunted it, there were always deer up there feeding. They would cruise through here and out towards that point. There's another spot with a ton of deer sign where grape must have been dropping. Let's walk over here. This sugar maple right here, that's the tree I hunted in. There's a deer trail that comes up through here. Down there you can kind of see another little bench that deer would occasionally travel on. But the majority of the time they would come from either there or up there and just kind of cruise here in front of me. West wind would be blowing down the hill from me, so I accessed it from down in that bottom. There's a hollow, and then I would come up to the tree I hunted in. Overall, it was a good spot. I only hunted it during the rut, but I did see some bucks. I think I hunted it November 2nd and November 3rd, and out of those 2 days I hunted all day sets, and I think I saw 6 or 7 different bucks. Missed one the first morning. I hit a twig that I couldn't see. It was just getting daylight, so it was tough to see, but I think this will be a good spot. Hopefully the bucks I was getting on camera here survived. I've been seeing quite a few buck tracks, so I'll probably end up putting a camera out on that point. And then there's another bench down over And there's a bunch of sign there. I'll probably put it, my third and final camera there. I decided not to put one in that bowl just because there wasn't a ton of deer sign, but I'll get these cameras up and continue to hunt my way out of here and see what happens. Alright, it's been probably about 5 minutes since I shot. I'm almost positive I hit her. She kind of kicked and hunched, and she probably trotted only like, I don't know, 50 yards, 75 yards and laid right down. But when I tried looking at her with binoculars, she seen me and jumped up and spooked. And she ran down off the hill, but she definitely looks hit. I'm just now walking over to see if I can see blood. I'm kind of glad there's snow so I can get on the track even if she doesn't bleed. But alright guys, finally got a confirmed hit. I got on the wrong set of tracks. It wasn't looking good. But then I realized I was not in the right spot. And we finally got blood. There's the first bit of blood. You can see it real good in the snow. Bleeding half decent. That's pretty decent blood draw, pretty easy to follow. Blood there. I think. Yeah. She must have laid down right here. And then she got up and took off. I'll keep following the tracks. Blood's not as good now, but stay tuned. I'm gonna get ready just in case she's still alive, but hopefully we got one down. Alright, I just came up to her second bed. I crested that hill right up there. She was laying right here. I just couldn't get a shot at her. And she jumped up and took off again. She's still bleeding really good, so I should be able to get her. It's just a matter of when and where, but we'll see. Well, I don't have good news, but it's not quite bad news yet. I'm still on her track. I've probably followed her for... I bet I've been on her tracks for 400 or 500, 600 yards maybe. She's bedded. She just bedded back there. And I just jumped her again. Right over here. So from her last bed, she only ran like 40 yards. She's still bleeding really good. I think me pushing her is not helping, so I think I'm gonna hang tight here for a while and try to let her lay down and see what happens. But it's not the way you want it to go, but these things happen, so I'll do my best to recover her, and it is what it is. Got good news. She finally expired. Try to crawl through these briars. Talk about a close call. She died pretty much directly on the boundary line. Close to it anyhow. Jeez. Could she have ran into any more thick stuff? Oh, there she is. Alright guys, well, got her all packed up finally. It took a little over an hour probably, but ready to go. Got her all in the bag. Got that. But this crick came in handy, so now we got a long walk out. We will see you at the car. The end is finally in sight. Finally made it back. It was only about a 2-mile pack out. No biggie. But we made it. Feel good to get this off my back. Finally. Long walk out. Fun hunt. Yeah. The reason I brought the head with along is 1, so I have proof of sex, and 2, I'm hunting a DMA area, which is chronic wasting disease management area. So I have a DMAP tag for this area. So if you kill a deer in a DMA, you're not allowed to take the high risk parts out of that DMA, which would be the spinal column and the head. But they want you to drop the heads off in CWD bins, which they have placed in various areas, so they can test it to see if it tests positive. So brought the head. I'll probably drop that off at the bin on the way home, since where I live's out of the management area, so I'll hit the bin on the way back. And hope you enjoyed this hunt. It was a fun one, lots of fun. So see you on the next one.